So let's talk about something that's honestly a bit of a mystery for a lot of people. We're diving into a really fascinating question. How tiring are female multiple orgasms really? Is it some kind of myth, or is there a real physical and even mental cost? Let's break it down. Okay, so let's just put the main question right out there, front and center. How tiring is this experience? We hear a lot about it, but what's actually going on? Is it as exhausting as people think, or is there more to the story? And right off the bat, the short answer is kind of surprising. Yes, it's absolutely tiring, but, and this is a big but, it's a different kind of tired. It's not like the exhaustion you feel after, say, a really intense workout. So what does that actually mean? What does this unique fatigue feel like? Well, let's get into it. All right, first up, let's look at the physical side of things. Because when you and I think about being tired, we usually think about sore muscles, right? But the story here is, well, it's a lot more layered than just that. Think about what's actually happening in your body. It's intense. Your pelvic floor muscles are contracting over and over and over again. It's like doing a set of super high-intensity Kegels. At the same time, your heart rate is up, your breathing is fast, and your whole nervous system is just buzzing in this highly excited state. It's basically a full-body workout, just in a very, very concentrated way. And this quote from our source material just nails it. Muscles are tired, but not completely shut down. It's not like flipping an off switch, it's more of a slow burn, a gradual exhaustion that builds up, where your muscles are definitely feeling the strain, but they haven't totally given up yet. So, we've covered the muscles, but what about the brain? This is a huge piece of the puzzle, and honestly, it's the part that often gets completely overlooked. Just imagine your sensory nerves are like a high-speed fiber optic cable, just flooding your brain with an incredible amount of data. Your brain has to process all of that input, all while keeping up this state of intense focus and excitement. So you see, it's not just about physical stamina, it's really about neural endurance. And that neural fatigue leads to this very specific feeling. A lot of women describe it perfectly as feeling a bit floaty or spaced out afterwards. You know that sensation. It's almost like your brain just needs a second to reboot after being so dialed in. So, and this is a really important point to get, that spaced out feeling isn't necessarily a sign that your body is physically done. It's your nervous system, your brain, signaling that it's been working overtime and could really use a gentle cool down. It's nerve fatigue. Now, all this nerve fatigue has a pretty wild effect on sensitivity, and it can change in some really surprising ways. This whole experience is super personal, and it definitely doesn't follow a simple, straight line. So, for some people, there's what we can call the chain reaction. After the first one or two, the body can actually become even more responsive. It creates this kind of positive feedback loop, where each orgasm can actually feel easier and come faster than the last. But then, things can go in a completely different direction. The nerves can become so sensitive that what was pleasurable just a moment ago suddenly becomes uncomfortable or maybe even painful. It can be a pretty jarring switch. And finally, there's the hard stop. And this one is, well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a very clear signal from the body that you're done. After one, you just feel a distinct need to stop. That might feel like tiredness or even annoyance, or maybe just a numbness to any more touch. And the key, of course, is to listen to that signal. Okay, to really get the fundamental nature of this fatigue, our source gives us this absolutely brilliant analogy. It compares the typical male and female experiences after orgasm, and it makes so much sense. This lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? A single male orgasm is kind of like finishing a sprint. It's an all-out burst of energy, and it's followed by what's called a refractory period, which is really just a mandatory rest stop. The body needs to recover. The female multi-orgasm experience, on the other hand, is much more like continual dancing. You can keep going, sure, but eventually your muscles and your nerves are going to start to gently protest. It's a marathon of endurance, not a quick sprint to the finish line. So, after all that, the physical toll, the brain fatigue, all those different sensitivity paths, what's the big takeaway here? What should we really remember from all of this? Here's what it all really boils down to. It's what you could call a sustainable but tiring state. So yeah, it's possible, but it's not without cost. And because of that, it's not going to be for everyone every single time. And maybe most importantly, the fatigue you feel has way more to do with the rhythm, the pacing, and your mental state than it does with just a raw number. And that kind of reframes this whole conversation, right? It leaves us with a totally new way of looking at things. Maybe the real question isn't how many at all. Maybe it's What's the right rhythm for me right now? Something to think about.